Welcome back to City Insider. This is a YouTube channel for news, stories, and analysis surrounding Manchester City Football Club. I will update new video every day. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. Why Guardiola was left shocked in the 60th minute of RB Leipzig 1-3 Manchester City last night. Pep Guardiola watched his Manchester City side make it 2 wins from 2 in the UEFA Champions League last night with a 3-1 victory over RB Leipzig. The Spaniard seemed to be impressed with his treble winners, describing everyone as perfect after full time. However, there was one incident which left Pep Guardiola shocked in the 60th minute of Manchester City's win. Well, the 52-year-old was bizarrely told off by officials after trying to prevent a clash between Rico Lewis and Xavi Simons. Guardiola stepped in as tensions between the Manchester City number 82 and the Netherlands international looked set to boil over. While most officials would be grateful to see someone defuse the situation, the St. Peter-born tactician was instead given a telling off, which left him stunned on the touchline. Hopefully, Guardiola simply doesn't bother next time, and lets the officials sort it out. After all, it's their job to step in and defuse tense situations, not his. I simply cannot understand why the Manchester City boss was told off rather than praised for his actions. As aforesaid, Guardiola described his team as perfect after the win over RB Leipzig. However, in my view at least, there will still be plenty the Spaniard wants to work on following the victory inside the Red Bull Arena, as he is a true perfectionist. For a start, Manchester City conceded once again. The citizens have only kept 3 clean sheets in 12 games across all competitions so far this season, which will surely concern Guardiola. Of course, the absence of John Stones has been a huge loss for Manchester City, and their defensive record will hopefully improve when the England international returns to the starting 11. Hopefully, Guardiola's side can keep a string of clean sheets throughout the upcoming fixtures. Declan Rice warned Manchester City ahead of showdown. City and Arsenal were involved in an epic title race last season, and despite the Gunners leading the table for a record 248 days, it was Pep Guardiola's side who eventually came out on top as they went on to land a famous treble. The Gunners are desperate to secure their first top-flight title since 2004 and strengthened their squad in the summer transfer window, signing midfielder Rice from West Ham in a huge £105 million deal as they look to close the gap to City. Some pundits have tipped Arsenal to win the Premier League this term, and the North Londoners will be encouraged by City's back-to-back defeats to Newcastle United and Wolves. Arsenal lost to French side RC Lens in the Champions League on Tuesday, but Rice feels the result can be good for his side because they can bounce back on Sunday. "We're 10 games into the season, another 50 to go," Rice said. "We're just warming up and getting into our rhythm, but our full focus turns back to the league, and it's a massive game on Sunday. Every game is huge, and Man City is obviously a massive game. It is one we are going to be up for sure. We played them earlier in the season, in the Community Shield, which is a good thing. We will give it absolutely everything on Sunday. For 90 minutes we will be going at it, and hopefully we come out on top." We absolutely dominated Lens in terms of the ball, but both boxes were key. They scored 2 great goals and we couldn't break down their back 5. It's really tough to play against when teams sit so deep and the gaps are not there. We'll take the positives and the negatives. I think it's good for us as a team to have that loss, as we can bounce back and see where we can improve. Man City didn't view Arsenal as a threat when Arsenal approached Manchester City over the availability of fullback Joao Cancelo earlier this summer. The short shrift response signaled a marked change in attitude from a year earlier. City had then allowed striker Gabriel Jesus and left-back Alexander Zinchenko to join the Gunners for fees totaling around £90 million. Deals which at the time seemed to reflect both Mikel Arteta's growing reputation as a coach and the amiable nature of his friendship with his former boss at City, Pep Guardiola. The arrivals of Jesus and Zinchenko helped clarify Arteta's vision for the Gunners more than anyone imagined. The team that finished 24 points behind City in 2021-22 suddenly emerged as their main rivals, ending the season in second place, having spent a total of 248 days at the top of the table. So much so, in fact, that as Arsenal tried their luck in negotiations for another player to have fallen out of favour in Cancelo, City's approach had completely altered. "City's view of us is completely different this year than last," one senior executive at Arsenal told ESPN. Cancelo's relationship with Guardiola had deteriorated and a permanent transfer fee in excess of £50 million was suggested. The Gunners would not necessarily have been deterred by that valuation, but City had no intention of strengthening Arteta's side once again. With Jesus and Zinchenko, City acquiesced to Arsenal on the basis of receiving healthy transfer fees for two players about to enter the final year of their respective contracts. This time, City ended up agreeing on a simple loan with Barcelona for Cancelo in a move that contained no option or obligation to sign permanently and a modest loan fee. Whatever the financial hit, City's view was that Cancelo should not join Arsenal. They had benefited enough previously. There was a time when City regularly signed players from Arsenal, 5 players: Kolo Touré, Bakary Sagna, Gaël Clichy, Emmanuel Adebayor, Samir Nasri, made the journey north between 2009 and 2014 as City's Abu Dhabi takeover gave them a wealth the Gunners could not compete with. John Stones sets to return for Arsenal clash. Manchester City have been handed a huge boost to their squad with a key injury return before their clash against Arsenal this weekend. It comes as the two teams prepare for a potential early Premier League title clash. Following on from last season's intense battle, the match could be decided by a number of factors, but one of the key ones could be injuries and potential returns beforehand. Bukayo Saka is a concern for the North Londoners as they await results of a scan, while Gabriel Martinelli is another that is a doubt for the game. As for City, they have been handed a huge injury boost before the match with a key return in their Champions League tie with RB Leipzig. That was with John Stones making his way back onto the bench after a few weeks of being absent from the side through injury. The defender could angle his way back into the lineup to face Arsenal on Sunday or even become an option off of the bench once again. It remains to be seen how Guardiola will make his decisions with his team, but it adds yet another option to his squad over the Gunners. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.